Number 1. I met him on Craigslist. It was just a simple personal ad, innocently seeking companionship and love. Little did I know that my decision to respond to that ad would lead me down a path of darkness and despair. At first, everything seemed perfect. He was charismatic, charming, and seemed to possess all the qualities I had been searching for. We quickly fell into a whirlwind romance, spending hours on the phone and countless nights together. But as the days turned into weeks, I started noticing subtle changes in his behavior. He became possessive, demanding to know my every move and isolating me from my friends and family. His once charming smile now sent shivers down my spine. His words turned venomous, filled with insults and manipulation. I felt like I was walking on eggshells, constantly afraid of setting him off. But it wasn't just his words that haunted me, it was the dark secrets he hid beneath his charismatic facade. Late at night, I would catch glimpses of a side of him that sent chills down my spine. I would hear him whispering to himself, his eyes filled with a sinister gleam. There were nights when he would disappear for hours, leaving me alone in a state of fear and confusion. As the months went by, I became trapped in a toxic and dangerous relationship. I tried to leave, to escape the clutches of this nightmare, but he always found a way to reel me back in. He would apologize, promising to change, and for a brief moment, I would believe him. But the cycle would repeat, and I would find myself once again in his suffocating grip. It wasn't until one fateful night, when his true nature was revealed in all its horrifying glory. I stumbled upon a hidden room in our house, room filled with chilling evidence of his dark past. Photos, articles, and personal belongings of his previous victims adorned the walls, telling a chilling tale of pain and suffering. In that moment, the realization hit me like a ton of bricks. I was just another victim in his twisted game of manipulation and control. I knew I had to escape, to break free from his clutches once and for all. With every ounce of strength left in me, I mustered the courage to leave that house of horrors behind. Now, I share my story as a warning to others who may be lured by the promises of love and companionship on Craigslist. Behind the seemingly innocent ads, there may lie a darkness that can consume you whole. Trust your instincts, listen to that little voice in your head, and never underestimate the true evil that can hide behind a charming smile. Number 2. I found the perfect apartment on Craigslist. The photos looked promising, the price was right, and the location seemed ideal. Little did I know that my dream of a fresh start would soon turn into a living nightmare. From the moment I stepped foot inside the apartment, I felt an unsettling presence. The air was heavy, and an eerie silence hung in the atmosphere. But I dismissed it as mere nerves, attributing the unease to the stress of moving into a new place. As the days turned into weeks, strange things started happening. Objects would mysteriously move on their own, doors would slam shut without warning, and unexplained whispers echoed through the empty rooms. Shadows danced on the walls, and an icy chill permeated the air. It became impossible to ignore the truth. My new apartment was haunted. Night after night, I would lie awake, tormented by the sounds of footsteps creeping down the hallway and disembodied voices calling out my name. I would see fleeting glimpses of shadowy figures darting in and out of sight. The once comforting solitude of my home had turned into a prison of fear and dread. Driven by curiosity and a desperate need for answers, I began to investigate the history of the building. Dark secrets came to light, revealing a tragic past filled with unexplained deaths and restless spirits. It became clear that I was not alone in this apartment. Vengeful entities had made it their eternal dwelling. As the hauntings intensified, I knew I had to find a way to escape. I reached out to paranormal experts, seeking their guidance and assistance. Together, we conducted seances, performed cleansing rituals, and attempted to communicate with the spirits that lurked within the walls. But the more we delved into the supernatural, the stronger the spirits became. They resisted our efforts to banish them, fueling their rage and feeding off our fear. It was a battle against forces beyond our comprehension. Haunted by sleepless nights and constant terror, I made the difficult decision to leave the apartment behind. It was a painful farewell, as I had invested so much hope and dreams into that place. But my sanity and well-being were worth more than any material possession. Now, I share my story as a cautionary tale to those searching for a new home on Craigslist. Be wary of the unseen, for the walls may hold secrets that can shatter your peace. And if you ever find yourself in the grips of a haunted apartment, know that your only salvation lies in escape. Trust your instincts and never underestimate the power of the supernatural. Number 3. I was a struggling model, desperate for my big break in the industry. When I stumbled upon a Craigslist ad offering a once-in-a-lifetime photo shoot opportunity, it felt like a lifeline. The promise of a lucrative payment and the chance to showcase my talent ignited a spark of hope within me. Little did I know that I was about to step into a nightmare. Upon arriving at the designated location, a rundown studio in a secluded part of town, I was greeted by the photographer. He seemed charismatic and professional, putting me at ease with his charming demeanor. We discussed the concept of the shoot and the vision he had in mind. As we began the session, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The photographer's instructions became increasingly peculiar, urging me to adopt uncomfortable poses and expressions. But in my desperation to make it in the industry, I shrugged off my unease and complied, hoping it would lead to success. However, as the shoot progressed, the photographer's behavior took a sinister turn. He became increasingly demanding and possessive, insisting that I push my boundaries further and submit to his every whim. He wielded his camera like a weapon, capturing my vulnerability and exploiting it for his own sadistic pleasure. It wasn't long before I realized that this was no ordinary photo shoot. The studio was filled with disturbing props and a dark atmosphere that sent chills down my spine. It became evident that I had fallen into the clutches of a deranged individual with nefarious intentions. As the session continued, I became trapped in a twisted game of manipulation and danger. The photographer's true nature revealed itself, and I found myself entangled in his web of control. He reveled in my fear, using it as fuel to push me further into his twisted fantasies. I tried to escape, but the studio seemed like a labyrinth, with hidden doors and dimly lit corridors that only led to dead ends. It became clear that the only way out was to outsmart my captor and find the strength within myself to fight back. Through sheer determination and a burning desire for survival, I devised a plan to turn the tables on the photographer. I used my modeling skills to deceive him, lulling him into a false sense of security before delivering a swift and unexpected blow. In the chaos that ensued, I managed to break free from his grasp and make a desperate dash for the exit. As I emerged from the studio, gasping for breath and covered in sweat, I vowed never to let myself be taken advantage of again. I share my story as a cautionary tale to others in the industry, urging them to trust their instincts and prioritize their safety above all else. The world can be a treacherous place, and sometimes the pursuit of dreams can lead us into the clutches of darkness.